Hello, everybody. So, just before I'm actually about to go to work, this will probably be uploaded later on in the day, to be totally honest with you. But me Hot Martin has suggested this morning, uh, and we all kind of seen this coming because the will do it because the people that were relying on Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, the two parties together, because nobody my age in the 30s or in the 30s is going to vote Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael. Nobody's going to do it, especially after what happened with Fianna Gael. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody would be doing it because Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael have nothing to give to any young person in this country. The only thing they have to give is a boat and a plane ticket to get out of here and goodbye and never to come back. And everybody else in the world can come in, of course. But for any Irish young person, no, there's no hope for you in the state with Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael. And this is just a plain example of Fianna Fáil now, because again, the only people that's going to vote them is the elderly people, people who have a house, etc., etc., people who bought houses years ago in the 80s and the 70s, and that's the majority of people who vote Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, old people. The talk about giving €350 a week per week for the pension, for the state pension. Now, I think it's €250 or so a week in the pension. My father's on it, and again, he worked since 14, take for example, and when he came to pension age a few years ago, they were whinging and quipping and crying they didn't want to give it to him because he didn't pay into a pension back years ago. Because, well, obviously, when he was 14, and in the 20s, you're going into the 60s, in the early 60s and stuff, late 60s, may I say, there was no such thing as paying into a pension. Would you believe I had to pay into a pension now? And to be totally honest with you, it's Fianna Fáil and Fianna Gael. They want you to walk until 60. They want you to walk over 65. They want you to walk to 70. That's the government's initiative now. And again, the majority of these people have to sit in the house all day and do nothing. And they get the big pension, etc., etc. But a man like me, take for example, who's out walking on the roads, etc., etc. I love to say at 70 I'll be able to do that. I don't think I will. But long story short, the want people to basically walk into the drop dead, which is not, in my opinion, life's too short to be honest. If you get to 65 and if you want to walk on, you can, but in a few years' time you won't have the option. But that's what they're suggesting, that people could walk on to 70, and they probably will do it. Eventually, they will do it because we all know they will. To pay for them, of course. But that's what they're suggesting. And again, that's the people they're trying to get here. And obviously, as I say, Fianna Fáil is not to offer anybody. They're talking about an extra €12 for people on social welfare, etc., etc. The party wants to build 600 homes, apparently, by 2030. 600,000 homes, I may say. 60,000 homes. But long story short, it's not going to do anything. And it's also implementing a tax credit for gym memberships. Is that something to do with the TDs? They need memberships. Long story short, nothing for young people. There's nothing for young people. Them houses are going to go to people that's not even on house and waiting list. We know the usual crack. What's happening in this country? Basically, Fianna Fáil is really trying to buy people, the elderly folk particularly, because again, a lot of elderly people are very upset with Fianna Fáil, and so rightly so, because Fianna Fáil, if they got their way in the Green Party particularly, but Fianna Fáil too were hand in hand with the Green Party. They wanted people to freeze in their houses at Christmas, they wanted elderly people, they wanted to put people in prison for burning tough, etc., etc. The exact same party, Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael supported the Green Party all the way, only for maybe they were like, this is a bit extreme, people might push back very heavily on us. So that's the only reason why. But in the next government, they probably will. If the Green Party gets back in, of course they're going to do that because they're just loony people that want to do these kind of things. And then when there's nothing said about China. It's funny how they're not saying we should make China stop using coal and then we can maybe worry about the tough then. Nothing about that. You think they'd be worried about the environment, the environment, China. We should stop China from burning coal. But no. But yeah, so that's what pretty much. If you vote for us, buy our votes, because I see nothing here really to help a young person. Young person like me, I'm not saying I wouldn't vote Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael if I got €1,000,000 to be done. If they didn't come up now and say here's €1,000,000, I wouldn't vote for them. That's on the principle. They voted for the time and time again the EU migration pact. I could go on. There's many things I'm very upset about, and I wouldn't go near. The days of Eamon De Valera's party and Michael Collins, Fianna Gael, for example, are long, long gone by. And to be told, Eamon De Valera probably turned his grave. He's in the modern day Fianna Fáil. It's supposed to be for for the Gaels, Fianna Fáil. And the same with Sinn Féin for ourselves. They're turned into everybody else but the Irish people, to be told. It's everybody else. It's the European Union. It's Davos. It's this country. It's that country. Every other country but Ireland. And it's not good enough. And particularly now, they're trying to get the elderly folk like this. I think it's very disgraceful, to be told. And I don't. And this is the thing I want to just mention before I go. elderly people built this country. People like my father who went out when he was 14 and walked. People like him built this country, built this economy, built this country up. And the elderly people now, and they deserve to enjoy the time, the few bob they get at the end of the week, etc. They deserve it more than these politicians, I agree with that. But it's the fact of the matter, they didn't do anything in the budget. It'd be different if they said, here's the money in the budget and didn't look for anything. But now they're looking for something because there's an election. And then again, it's the same with many other things. I can tell you about a few elderly people who can't get the living alone allowance. I can go on and on and on and on. And not to mention, I'd probably get into it at some stage, but a bus and cab in particularly. But I will mention it at some point. But long story short, they shouldn't be bringing it up now because they only want to get in because they're afraid of not getting any seats. That's because Fianna Fáil lost a lot of support. So this is what, and then when they get in, they probably won't do it. So that's the funniest thing about it, because the buy people to vote for them, and then they won't do it because you couldn't trust them as far as you controlled it. You couldn't trust them. If they said the sky was blue, I would have to look up the check before I agree with them, because you couldn't trust them as far as you controlled them. Thank you.